So the examples that we're going to be looking at now are examples where we're finding the axis of symmetry and vertex, but when the graph is not given, but you're given an equation instead. So previously we were able to look at the graph, identify the middle of the graph, which was our axis of symmetry, and then from there we can identify our vertex. But if we have just an equation, there's now a formula that we are going to go over and use to find the axis of symmetry. So the formula for the axis of symmetry is negative b over 2a. And once you have that x value, what you can do is plug that value into the function to find the y value. And then you have your vertex, because your vertex always, or I should say the axis of symmetry always goes through the vertex. So the x coordinate of your vertex is that negative b over 2a value. So let's look at an example of what I'm saying. So what we want to do is find the axis of symmetry and the vertex of the following quadratic equation. So y equals 2x squared plus 8x minus 1. So the formula for your axis of symmetry is x equals negative b over 2a. Well, just like when we were using our quadratic formula, identify your a value and identify your b value. In this case, a is 2 and b is 8. So now that you identified those values, you want to take them and plug them into your axis of symmetry formula. So now what we're looking at is x equals negative 8, because you took the b value, which was 8, plugged it in, divided by 2 times a, and you took the 2, plugged it in for a. And now at this point, what we're going to do is simplify. So 2 times 2 is 4. So we're left with negative 8 over 4. And our axis of symmetry is negative 2. So we found our axis of symmetry. Now what we need to do is find our vertex. So to find the vertex, you're going to take that x value and you're going to plug it into the original equation given. And you're going to plug it into both x values. So you're plugging negative 2 in for both x values. And what we're going to do now is simplify. So remember, exponents first. So negative 2 squared is really negative 2 times negative 2. And then multiply 8 times negative 2. So again, negative 2 squared is going to give us that positive 4. Now we're going to multiply that positive 4 times 2, and what we're really looking at is 8 minus 16 minus 1, which is y equals negative 9. So now you have an x value and a y value, and together you have your vertex point. So your vertex is going to be at the point negative 2, comma negative 9, and again, your axis of symmetry goes through the vertex, so your axis of symmetry is x equals negative 2. Now we're going to look at a second example. So it's the same general process, just different negatives, different numbers, different values that we're going to be plugging in. So again, what we want to do is find the axis of symmetry and the vertex. So axis of symmetry formula is x equals negative b over 2a, and we want to identify our a value and our b value. Well, in this case, our a value is negative 5, and our b value is negative 10. So plug them in. Now be mindful, we are plugging in b equaling negative 10. Well, you have the negative sign from the formula, and your b value is also negative. So now you're going to have a double negative, which is going to end up being a positive. So you need to be very careful with your negative signs here and make sure you're plugging in the proper number. And then you're dividing it by 2 times a, and our a value is negative 5. So simplify, again, 2 negatives is going to be a positive, and then we're dividing it by negative 10, so 10 divided by negative 10. Our axis of symmetry is x equals negative 1. Now, same way we did in the last problem, we're going to do in this problem. By finding our vertex, you're going to take that x value and you're going to plug it into the original equation. So you're going to plug that into both of them. And again, a negative sign, so you need to be very careful with the negatives, okay? There's a lot of negatives in this problem. So you're plugging it into both x values. Remember, you're squaring the number first, so negative 1 squared is going to become a positive 1. positive 1 times negative 5, and then here you're multiplying negative 10 times negative 1, which is going to be a positive 10. Simplify more, so you have negative 5 plus 10 minus 2, and simplifies to 3. So now you have y equals 3. So the two values together give you your vertex point at negative 1, 3. So your axis of symmetry is